The quiet hum of our suburban street was shattered every few nights by the same grating sound. Metal crunching, wood splintering, and HOA Karens' venomous muttering. She wasn't just the HOA president, she was the self-appointed dictator of our cul-de-sac. Her clipboard a scepter, her rules a noose. For months, she'd targeted my mailbox. Too bright, she said. Too modern. Too me. I'd replaced it 3 times, each one a little uglier to appease her, but nothing worked. Last week, I caught her on my security camera, swinging a crowbar like a woman possessed, reducing my latest mailbox to a mangled heap. That was the final straw. I wasn't going to play her game anymore. I spent a weekend welding a new mailbox, solid steel, bolted into a concrete base, a fortress in suburban disguise. It gleamed under the streetlights, a quiet challenge to her tyranny. I didn't just want it to stand. I wanted it to win. And win it did in ways I never could have predicted. HOA's attacks escalated. She'd storm out at dusk, her SUV roaring into my driveway, headlights glaring like the eyes of a predator. Neighbors whispered about her obsession, but no one dared confront her. She was untouchable. Her husband was a city councilman. Her influence a shadow over every lawn and picket fence. That night, the air was thick with the promise of a storm. I watched from my window as she hefted her crowbar, her face twisted with rage. She swung hard, and the clang echoed like a gunshot. The mailbox didn't budge. She swung again, harder, her grunts turning to shrieks as sparks flew. The steel held firm, mocking her. Then came the twist I hadn't seen coming. Old Mr. Jenkins, the quiet widower next door, shuffled out in his slippers, holding a flashlight. He'd always kept to himself, a ghost in our neighborhood. But tonight his voice cut through the chaos. "HOA, stop this nonsense," he barked, his frail frame trembling with conviction. "You're tearing us apart over a damn mailbox." His words stunned her, and for a moment, she froze, crowbar mid-swing. Jenkins wasn't just a neighbor, was her old high school teacher, the one who'd once believed in her, before she became this caricature of control. The revelation hit like a thunderclap, softening her edges, but only for a second. Her fury reignited. "Stay out of this, old man," she spat, turning back to the mailbox. But Jenkins didn't back down. He stepped closer, his flashlight shaking in his hand, and started reciting HOA bylaws, her bylaws pointing out every rule she was breaking. The irony was delicious, but it only made her angrier. She screamed, dropped the crowbar, and stormed back to her SUV. That's when it all went wrong. In her rage, she slammed the gas pedal, aiming to ram the mailbox. The steel didn't flinch. Her SUV, however, wasn't so lucky. The front crumpled like tinfoil, airbags exploding as the engine hissed in defeat. The crash was deafening, a symphony of her own destruction. Neighbors poured out, phones in hand, recording the wreckage. HOA stumbled out, dazed, her pride as shattered as her vehicle. The mailbox stood untouched, a silent victor in the chaos. I thought that was the end of it. I thought I'd won. But the next morning, I found a note taped to the mailbox, written in HOA's jagged scrawl, "You'll pay for this." It wasn't just a threat, it was a promise. Days passed, and the tension in the neighborhood grew unbearable. People stopped talking, afraid of taking sides. Then, at the next HOA meeting, HOA stood up, her face pale but defiant, and announced a new rule. All mailboxes had to be approved by her personally, or fines would be issued. She looked straight at me, her eyes burning with vindictive triumph. The twist deepened. Jenkins, of all people, stood up again. This time he held a petition, signed by half the neighborhood, demanding her resignation as HOA president. His quiet courage had sparked a rebellion. HOA's face crumbled as she realized her empire was slipping away. She stormed out, leaving her clipboard behind, a symbol of her unraveling control. But the victory felt hollow. HOA wasn't just a villain. She was a woman broken by her need to dominate, to be seen. Jenkins told me later she'd once been kind, a dreamer, before life and power warped her. I looked at my steel mailbox, still standing, and felt no pride, only a bitter pang of regret. Had I escalated things too far? Could I have tried to understand her instead of fighting fire with fire? The neighborhood never quite recovered. HOA moved away, her SUV towed, her reputation in ruins. The mailbox remained, a reminder of a war no one truly won. Jenkins became the new HOA president, his quiet wisdom a balm for our fractured community. But every time I pass that steel monolith, I feel the weight of what happened, a clash of pride and principle that left us all a little scarred. What do you think? Where does justice lie in a feud like this, when both sides fuel the fire?